Hello there. What's going on, you guys? I wanted to do a build today for a double Star Destroyer list using some of the Super Star Destroyer cards, and so without using an actual Super Star Destroyer. So I want to kind of take a look at some of the things that we can do to take different lists by using some of those cards, putting them into a list. And before I do that, though, I do want to remind you guys about the big giveaway, Force FX Lightsaber in the form of an Amazon gift card. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment. So if you weren't familiar with that, there's more details for that on Crabbok.com. But let's go ahead and dive in, and we'll take a look at this. I'm actually going to be using a different builder today. So I'm going to be using Armada Warlords. And we'll be using their website because they have all the Super Star Destroyer cards on there already. So I'm jumping right in. I'm not doing the full build process. I've already done the build. So let's take a look at my first ship. So I'm going to be using Thrawn as my commander. And the reason I'm using Thrawn is, at least in my area, I think you can change this up. You can definitely have some flexibility. I don't think you have to go with Thrawn. But in my area, a lot of folks are using zero squadron lists, and as a result of that, slicer tools is becoming more and more common. And so if you are going up against a slicer tools list, maybe that one command that you really need to do, Thrawn can kind of lock it in for you and make sure that you have the ability to do it. So I do like that, and one of the things I'm going to be wanting to do here, I'm going to be wanting to maximize my red dice and re-rolls of those red dice. I'm going to be using Krennic on my flagship as well. And we're going to really try to make this kind of go crazy because I'm trying to see if I can set new records for red dice coming out of a Star Destroyer. So we already have 5 red in the front arc here. We've got our gunnery team. That's not, that makes sense. We're going to maximize that. We've got 6 red with spinal armament. So we're starting off with 6 red. Now I'm also adding another expensive upgrade here, quad turbo laser cannons. So if I get at least 1 accuracy, I can add another accuracy. Now, considering all the rerolls I have, we're looking at 6 plus a concentrate fire, 7, and quad turbo lasers is going to bring it up to 8 red dice if I get at least 1 accuracy during the entire attack. So 8 red dice is not half bad. It's actually quite amazing. Krennic can let me re-roll all of them and then re-roll some more if I've got the token. Now, this isn't a Super Star Destroyer, so I'm not going to always have that token. As a matter of fact, I may rarely have that token because I'll be also using Intensify Firepower. But Intensify Firepower is going to be really nice because with all those re-rolls, I'm still likely to get some blanks. So Intensify Firepower is just saying, hey, you know what, if you do get those blanks, or maybe you don't get that accuracy until the very end, and then you finally get that accuracy, you get to add that extra die, but maybe you don't always need 2 accuracies. You can turn that other accuracy to a hit. So that's what that's all about. Thrawn is there to make sure that we can get that concentrate fire command, because let's face it, with Super Star Destroyers, especially in a double with a double ISD list, a lot of times you are going to need to do nav or engineering. We won't be running squadron commands here. But if, it's possible. I'm going to have some squadrons. Let's talk about the second Star Destroyer. We're running Nita. And Nita with turbo laser reroute circuits and spinal armament. Here, we're not going to be getting quite as many re-rolls because we don't have Krennic. But in this case, we're still going to be running 6 red dice with 7 for the Thrawn's concentrate fire command. So 7 red dice, still really nice. And between Intensify Firepower and turbo laser reroute circuits, we can mitigate the bad dice. All right. So that's the idea here. A lot of guaranteed, doubles. We're probably going to get several doubles coming out of this one. And then I will be running a Gozanti to support the other 2 with CommsNet passing tokens. I can pass tokens to either one, but the Gozanti is there for a couple of reasons. For also to make sure that Intensify Firepower is going to be able to have that token to go ahead and work. Now, Darth Vader is also on the Gozanti to support the whole fleet because he's going to give even more rerolls to my ships. So let's take Nita, for example. I don't need Nita after the beginning of the first round. because Nita has already given my ship a defense token. And he has it. You're not going to just suddenly lose a defense token because Nita goes away. So I don't need Nita anymore after that. So Vader can happily choke Nita. It's beautiful. It's thematic. I love it. I love everything about it. Okay. So Vader can happily choke Nita if we do decide we want to re-roll everything. Maybe we roll all blanks or all accuracies. You know what? This isn't going to work out. It's not going to be very good, even with my Turbo Laser reroute and Intensify Firepower. So Vader chokes Nita, we get a bunch of rerolls, and then we wait to use Turbo Laser reroute circuits after that. Or maybe it's my second shot. Maybe I use gunnery teams, right? And I've already used Turbo Laser reroute circuits, so I can't use it on the second shot. Vader's there for that as well. And we can also, if we're not shooting right away, we can pass a token to this second Simoon. We can give him a Concentrate Fire token too, and he can use that for a single die reroll. But I think between Intensify and Turbo Laser, we're not going to have to reroll too many dice over here. We may not get the fantastic shots that I think we're going to get on this first Simoon, but we might get even better shots because of the TRC. So this, I think, would be really, really, really fun to play. Because it's just that whole chance. You have a pretty good chance of getting a good attack, but you have a slim chance of having the dream attack. Like this top one can get you 8 dice. Could you imagine 8 doubles? Could you imagine 16 damage coming out of a Star Destroyer, or better yet, maybe imagine 14 damage plus that one accuracy. Oh man, I can't even. That's just so. Just the thought of it is just absolutely amazing. Okay, so we've got the Gazantu, we've got the 2 Star Destroyers. I'm going to add 2 squadrons as well. I'm going to go with Jindin and Merrick Steel. I've had some success with them lately. They're nice, but you have some rooms. This is 41 points here, and I still have, I'm only at 388 right now. So 388 is not too bad. There's some flexibility. You could add a couple of TIE fighters if you wanted to do something like that. For this build, I just went with these guys because it was easy and they're very effective. And then that also gives my Gazanti something to do beyond just doing concentrate fire and passing, because we're not always going to need to do that. But there's another aspect of this that I want to talk about, and that's, hey, Thrawn has no use beyond his 3 tokens. So after his 3 tokens are over, Vader can also strangle Thrawn. Now, one of the things you could do is you can consider putting Thrawn over here on the Simoon, but I think between the Turbo Laser reroute circuit, we're less likely to need those rerolls here because of the quad Turbo Laser cannons on this one. I think we're more likely to need those rerolls because if Krennic, if we're trying to really fish for that 16 damage attack at long range, and it could be more than that, it could be 18 at medium range with the blue dice. If we're trying to fish for that 16 damage attack, though, we are going to need lots of rerolls. So we can have Vader choke out Thrawn after we've done all of Thrawn's commands. We're looking at maybe turn 5 or 6 here for him doing that. Then we can choke out Krennic after Krennic's already done his rerolls. But we're just getting so much. We're getting so many rerolls with this. This is more than if you had Vader as your commander. And it's also not requiring you to spend defense tokens. So I think this is a lot of fun. And we're using a couple of, what are we using here? We're using the Vader officer. We're using Director Krennic. And that's all we're just using those 2 in this particular build from the Super Star Destroyer. Now for objectives, for red, I chose Most Wanted here. Because both of my ships do have gunnery team, I don't need to take 2 shots on the same ship. I don't think that'll be necessary. But because I do have a Gazanti, I can easily make the Gazanti my gunner, my most wanted, and it'll give me it'll actually let me add another die to my attack pool, so I can add another red, and so we could in theory go for 18 damage. So we could get 20 damage if we're in medium range from an Imperial Star Destroyer. That's insane. We could get 20 damage potentially, and which, wow, that's really nuts. Okay, for yellow, I went with fire lanes, and that's just going to help me choose where the battle is going to take place. And of course, it says that you have to you're going to want to head towards those tokens because that's where all the victory points are being racked up. And then Solar Corona is also going to let me know where to set up. So the our blue and yellows are going to help me as far as setup, and Most Wanted is just going to give me more dice on you and give me a big chunk of points. And I think I should be within as many rerolls and as many dice as I'm going to have in this build. I shouldn't have a problem blowing up one ship. I shouldn't have a problem blowing up most ships, but definitely shouldn't have a problem blowing up one single ship. So that is the lists. And I will put a link to Armada Warlords in the block. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys are you guys excited as I am about trying out all this new stuff? I would love to hear about it. So that is the build, guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and big thanks to my patrons on Patreon. And happy Friday to you guys. Hopefully we get some news sooner than later. It's February, so bring on the news. All right, guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day.